Welcome back to Rooted in Erie. My name is Alyssa Kerstetter. I'm here at Stan's Garden Center, and today we're going to be talking about seeding and scheduling. There's a big master sow sheet, what we call a sow sheet, behind me on the wall that we go based off of weeks. Everything we do here is by weeks, our scheduling. So up here is our master sheet that shows everything that we sow, everything that we get that comes in as a seed, whether it is a raw seed or a pelletized seed, comes through this room and is on this sow sheet. And there's a gentleman here that sows everything by what week, so he knows exactly what tray it goes into, how many seeds into a tray, how many trays of that certain thing, and what week it's going to be done. So everything on my sow sheet is color-coded based off of the trays. So we have some small plug trays for different things that like to be in the small cell. We have some bigger plug trays that have some bigger cells in them. This is a 392 plug tray. This is one of the smallest plug trays that we do. Then we have a 288, a 128, and then we do some things directly into our 3-pack containers that they'll put the seed right into those 3 packs, and then they're ready for sale. So today he's actually sowing some marigold seeds on this machine behind me called the Hamilton machine. Josh will tell you a little bit more about the logistics of the machine, how it operates and that kind of stuff. But most of our seed comes in as pelletized seed. It has this coating on it. Otherwise, the seed is so tiny that the machine wouldn't be able to pick it up. So at the Ball Seed Company, they put this coating on it that just makes it a little bit bigger. It's easier for the machine to pick it up, and it'll go through the machine pretty quickly. And Josh will show you kind of how the machine works here.
So the pelletized seed goes into this tray right here. On this tray, the reason this is called a drum seeder is the drum has perforations in it. There are tiny little holes in here. I don't know if you can see them on the camera, but there's 2 holes in this. So this row will drop 2 seeds per cell. So Alyssa told you had 392 seeds per cell, or cells in the tray. This particular row will seed 2 per. It's very common for things that are either grown in group, like begonias. They really like to be amongst themselves. They can be a nice little bunch. Marigolds, not so much. You don't want 2 marigold strands. You want them 1 per. So in that Hamilton drum here, there's also a row that has a single seed in it. So we'll index this as according to whether you want 2 seeds per cell or 1 seed per cell. And the seed goes right into between these 2 drums. The seed, I'm not going to dump it in because of the cost of the seed here, but we put this seed in between the 2 drums and they rotate. The rotation actually has a tiny little bit of vacuum or a suction that draws the seed onto that small orifice that holds it. When it comes around then, when this tray comes through, okay, so we have this tray that sits in this conveyor. When the tray comes through, there's an electronic eye down here, as when this seed was picked up on the top, it rotates around and it indexes right in line with this 392 tray, and it expels that seed down onto that soil. So Alyssa talked about the coating or the pelletized nature of these seeds, so that they're so small that they need to be pelletized. Once then the seed has a certain environment, if they need covered, then we'll cover it with this material here called vermiculite. If they like a lot of light, they don't like to be covered, then the vermiculite will be shut off. But then once the conveyor comes down here, that pelletized seed will get dissolved. As soon as it gets down here to, why am I not turning it on? It vibrates and it's really noisy and loud. You probably wouldn't even be able to hear me. So it runs the conveyor down here, and there's a little stream of water. That pelletized seed then, that pellet gets dissolved by the water that streams onto this conveyor. So again, this is the Hamilton drum seeder. It's used for high quantity seeding. It's also used for the small seed. We have a different type of seeder here called a Seeder Minster Needle Seeder that is a needle seeder. This again was a drum seeder for small material, and the Hamilton drum seeder used for the tiny stuff. We're going to shift over here to the big stuff. And this is a Seeder Needle Seeder. Why is it called a needle seeder? Okay, these little tubes here are attached to this, to the head of this that creates the vacuum. All right, so there's different types of needles depending on the size of the seed. So if we're using, this will seed right up to like squash. So you imagine the big squash seed that you can push in with your finger. This will actually pick up with a bigger needle. So we can adapt the needle. That's what the color is for on the tube here. The seed sits right down in this tray. And as this seed is distributed in this tray, it vibrates. So you hear the vibrator going? That's going to distribute the seed evenly across that trough so that this head that comes down is going to come down like that and pick the seed up and drop it into the hole. So as the machine progresses the tray across, it gives you a little dimple in the soil so that the seed finds more center, and the tray keeps getting advanced. As it picks up the arm here, you have the seed distributed across this tray. The needle will pick it up with a little bit of vacuum, and it ejects it every time it gets to the very top of its cycle. So that seed gets distributed into the row across this 128 tray. So when it gets down to here, if the seed requires it, it's going to add some cover to it. This product is called vermiculite. That vermiculite is a natural mined stone from mica. That mica stone is very, very porous. It holds a lot of its moisture, but it gives the seed a little bit of dark as well. So if the plant likes to germinate in cover, that plant was covered up, that seed will start to emerge because of the vermiculite cover. So this here is our Seeder seed machine. It's used for larger things that get distributed into the 128, a larger cell, or even things like lettuce, some of the zinnias and things that don't like to be transplanted. They don't like to go through the smaller cells and handled by hand. This machine will install right into the 1203 or the 36 tray that you can buy right from the garden center. So things, lots of things, herbs will be done in 4-inch pots through this that are larger quantities, larger containers that get sowed. So thanks for joining us today. This is Stan's Garden Center in Erie, Pennsylvania, and our seed production facility.